Okay, let's do this. Then, I would like to resume our trial.
Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book.
I see. Does the defense have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Barn Karma.
You knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you?
Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Edgeworths? Okay.
Will the witness state his name and profession?
Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney.
Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct?
It is correct.
Then testify about this matter to the court.
When Edgeworth was telling me about this dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please! Please!
Witness testimony.
That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all.
And until now, you thought this memory was a dream?
We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events.
Bah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Alright, we are pressing around where he's heard a single gunshot. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream? Sorry, I'm meant to present something here. Theocase files. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came.
I see.
But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony.
You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Mr. Edgeworth's testimony?
Victim data, or was it the case summary? I think it was victim. Look at the victim data in this file. I mean, it's the only data we haven't picked yet. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet, the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Bum, 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 bum.
Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot?
Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is outdated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There's no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident.
What?
I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with this case?
Yes. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof.
What? Impossible!
Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident?
Yes. Let's look at this photo. Look at this photograph!
This is a photograph of the scene of the crime, 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth.
This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it.
So, let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired? Where?
Your Honor, please get a clue. Let's show the judge where the contradiction is. Right here. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here.
I see a bullet hole in the door.
Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot.
Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else.
Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be?
The murderer, of course.
I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page.
The case summary. That's page 1.
Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene.
Huh?
If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene.
He does have a point.
That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Bitches.
Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Varkarma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So, all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim.
I praise the judge for his wisdom in the matter.
Ugh! How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures were for nothing. Are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick! You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent! I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick!
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth.
Precisely.
I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections?
No. No, I do not.
So you killed your father, though that was not your intention.
Yes, I did. Oh no! He's confessing!
Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here.
Right now!
Indeed. Does anyone have any objections?
I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying. But my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words.
Mr. Wright?
Your Honor! Your Honor, I object!
Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Nick? I don't know. His case is perfect. Oh no. Ah. It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it.
It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers, Mr. Wright.
Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet. It exists.
What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist.
I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just, someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened.
But who?
The murderer.
The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer?
I'm still thinking about that one.
So the criminal took the second bullet. Why would he?
Huh?
First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet?
Why would the murderer have to spend the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue.
What's wrong, Mr. Wright?
Bah! The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but, the murderer had to take that bullet.
Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean?
Well, for instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer?
The bullet hit the murderer?
Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer himself was shot, and he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime.
Yes. I guess that's how it worked. Yes, that's how it would work, yes.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean...
The murderer came from outside, yes. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say.
What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer.
No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick?
Huh?
I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossbird said yesterday?
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record.
Wow!
It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see? Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting.
What if our Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock? But took it because he was injured? Which would mean... It could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma.
Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seemed dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility the murder came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Say it loud, say it proud. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect.
Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect?
My hands are shaking.
What?
Von Karma!
Von Karma? You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor, sitting right there?
Bah.
You don't object?
I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection?
Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason?
So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify.
Nick! Let's find out who his doctor is.
It's no use.
Edgeworth?
I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness.
Ugh, nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane!
No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot?
Show evidence.
I ate the bullet.
Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much.
What?
The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is... metal detector! Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself.
You don't mean...
I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma.
Is that even possible? For all these years?
Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find.
Vroom.
I refuse!
You refuse? What refusing this means? You acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order! Order! Order!
Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector.
Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy.
The statute of limitation runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now.
Enough! I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing.
Nick, what does this mean?
I don't know.
But we have to give it a shot. It reacted! Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet! Mr. Von Karma?
You! It was you!
I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent.
Huh?
Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident.
What?
I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6.
But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that?
Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright. Not I.
Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6?
Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence.
That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday.
With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright.
No, I'm the one who's sorry. I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma.
What?
You were close. One day away from freedom. You see, I have proof.
What?
Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof.
That's a bullet?
Where did you get that?
This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago.
Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate.
We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know.
Help! I can't breathe!
Quiet! Quiet, I said! You're not making this any easier.
Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air!
Get away! Get away from my father! It's that scream I heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma! It was you who screamed!
Mr. Von Karma?
Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me!
So, it was you!
You and your father are my cause! Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade! I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! Death! Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry.
Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you.
I was careless.
I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered you in the past, but not this time.
Edgeworth. It was a shock like none I'd ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in here without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out to the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. Bang! In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still laying unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, I spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought that another man would come to open that elevator door? Judge.
What?
What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it!
Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty! Again! Confetti! We need a party! Party hard! That is all. The court is adjourned. For the second time. Ah.
It is actually 5:38 p.m. right now. Nick! Nick! We did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick! Crushed! What is that sound I just made? I gotta say, I'm impressed! It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So, it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know! Try thank you. I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Oof. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. Dear, dear.
Woo! Amazing, pal! You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month, but who cares?
See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see.
Woo! I feel foolish.
Don't worry, take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it.
It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded.
Hey, y'all! Lotta! Y'all were great in there.
Thank you.
Yo, Edgeworth, congrats!
Thank y'all very much.
I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at ya. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there.
You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you?
Yeah, well, let's bygone be bygones?
Gygons.
Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh?
Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta?
Who, me? I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick.
Really? That's too bad.
Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park?
Huh? It's over, Nick! My life is over!
Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now?
Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world.
You don't look sick.
It's Kianse! She's going to live in Paris! Paris, Nick! She's leaving me behind!
Larry.
Yo, Edgy! There you are! Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy! Here, a little gift for me in celebration! Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butch, you come along tonight too! My treat, pal! Huh? Thanks! Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick! That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right?
I think you'll be fine, Larry.
Right.
Yeah? What's up?
That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it.
Well, yeah, that's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes.
It's $38, right?
Huh? What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick! Wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38!
No.
No! Larry, it was you!
What are you so surprised about, Wright?
Huh?
Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect.
What?
Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored. He came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember?
Yeah, too well.
Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts.
I know!
Really, Wright? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this is sure an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth.
You should have told me! Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago! Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'd say so, yes. There you have it!
Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did!
Well, I call you a goody two-shoes to the extreme.
Yeah,
And you get worked up too easily, too!
Death! The death sentence for both of you! Man, if only I had known! Man, if I had only known! I can't read sentences, guys. Man, if I only had known, I'd have become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, Wright? Hey, y'all! Line up! I'll take a photo! Hey! Photo time! Let's go! And after that, dinner on me! Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, although Edgeworth was still in detention. Oh, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Huh? It's still only 5 o'clock. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you... it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you. But I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station.
To the station.
I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick! Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at that very end that I thought we lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Varn Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Let's show Maya that evidence. Evidence. A bullet? Varn Karma was convinced that he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Varn Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Nick! Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back! Okay, I'll be waiting. Of course you will! You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. I don't know about that. So, bye. Bye. Thanks, Nick.
I need a tissue, everyone.
And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. with the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur.
Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim?
Yes, Your Honor. Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. And we finished the first 4 cases of Ace Attorney. At last. Hey, pal! Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a Happy New Year! Talk about a pleasant surprise!
Whoop, Detective Gumshoe!
Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kind of like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh?
I'm pretty sure he was really embarrassed, Gumshoe. Kinda like how shit I am with these whoops.
Huh? Nick? Nah, I haven't seen him lately. Who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. That Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just letting you know, there's still more to the first game, since this is the Wii version, and I do have the 5th case on here.
Who? Wright? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. You know, not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything. I'm sure he's grateful.
Yes, thank you.
Phoenix Wright? Ah, the defense attorney for who I wrote that evidence for, yes. Oh, you should know I've taken over management of the Gatewater Hotel recently. Should you be in the area, please, stop by.
Oh, it's you. Phoenix Wright? Ah yes, me as understudy, was he not? I wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him of late. Ah, the days of my youth, like the scent of fresh lemon, you see.
I always wondered, are we like reporters just going around talking to these people?
Just with how the credits go?
Phoenix Wright? He an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like Phoenix. Did you know that they're finally putting Hammer on a DVD? Not that I know what a DVD is. Everything these days, how am I supposed to keep up?
Like your constant blabbing.
I'm pleased to announce The Pink Princess is a hit. I sure owe that Mr. Wright a great deal. Oh, and I'm keeping my face out of public eye until the show's over. I wouldn't want to ruin any kid's dreams, you know? Oh, I got a letter from Maya the other day. It sounds like she caught a cold standing under a waterfall. I wanted to visit, but didn't have time, so I sent her some Pink Princess trading cards. She says she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living at anyway? Right? Who's that? You want to talk? Let's talk Pink Princess, alright? But, you know, I snuck into the studio the other day, and I saw her, the one inside the Pink Princess suit. Oh, what a dog! It was kind of a shock for a boy of my tender age. Yeah, I remember, right? That lawyer guy. Huh? Me? I'm in training to become a paranormal photographer. You know, that picture I took of everyone? Well, just behind him, there's a ghost. For real. Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous.
Ah, there we go, everyone. I think that's it.
I mean, there's supposed to be an objection that comes up, and then Rise from the Ashes comes in, but since this is not the DS version, I don't get that. But, do not worry. We will be doing Rise from the Ashes in the next video. So, thank you for joining us for Case 4, and I'll see you for Case 5.